Welcome back, niggas and friends. I hope my mic sounds nice. I don't know what's going on. Welcome to our first of hopefully not a series of remote at home podcasts. The great people over at Loudspeakers supplied us with the equipment to take care of our at home podcast journey. And hopefully this sounds great and we can have some laughs through the end of days.
Yeah, hopefully, because this is literally our only option. It is this or nothing.
Or nothing. Because girl, let me tell you something. I'm so glad my therapist called me today. She's like, hey girl, know you're going through it. So anything on your mind? Because girl, I am not leaving the house. I'm sorry. I saw those numbers in New York alone.
Yeah.
Child.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And people all kind of people are getting it. It's like a way bigger deal than your president would want anybody to believe. But yeah,
exactly.
Shit is just real out here and getting realer. So, this is what we got and we're going to try to make it work. Amen.
Well, Black Excellence this week, we're going to give to DJ D-Nice, as well as all of our other Black and Brown DJs who've been keeping Instagram Live alive and keeping joy and spirits up. Michelle Obama and motherfucking everybody was in the goddamn...
everybody.
Oprah was in Common, John Legend, people FaceTime, like everybody's jamming together. Just listening to some old school grooves, a little new. I may have heard a little bit of T-Pain auto-tune and some DJ Khaled's in there. So, yeah, all of the DJs who've been on Instagram Live taking the parties to people's living rooms and bedrooms and even bathrooms. Mm-hmm. Thank you for all that you're doing.
Yes, because that is literally all we got. And I don't know if you saw it, but like the other night after D-Nice did his set, he was like, Questlove got the after party and Questlove was playing like all the slow songs. I was like, man, at first I was like, this is kind of, sad and lonely. The whole let's get on Instagram and have a concert or have a party thing. Like it's fun and I appreciate people doing it. But at first it just kind of made me feel worse. Like, damn, this is literally... all I have as far as like
I get that.
Entertainment is concerned. Like it's just weird for me as somebody who already don't like going outside. Like I thought this would be okay, but I miss having people over here.
That's
I miss like hanging out. Yeah.
Of it. It's like because, as someone who don't really need to leave the house like that at all, I'm super fine with this. But my routine is still changed. Like I don't stay in 24 hours a day, every day besides studio. Right. I go to the gym, I go to the grocery store, you know what I'm saying? Like I have stuff to do. But even outside of that, like I'm realizing now how much I vicariously live through others because I scroll through social media and see those of you with actual lives, like kicking it with your friends, going out to this and that, taking pictures and posting them on Instagram and feeling confident in the way you look. And I'm just like, we all have great lives from my bed in my do-rag being ashy. And so now since we're all not doing anything, I'm like, ooh, it's bleak. I don't like it.
This is we're all in this shit except for the people who have to go out. And my hat off to you if you have a job where you can't work remotely or if you're one of the people we desperately need to keep society from crashing down, Yeah. Thank you for what you're doing. But yeah, it's rough out here emotionally, mentally, physically, everything. Everything is hard, but we're gonna be all right.
Okay. So this week in Hot Tops, Inside Man.
Bye.
Okay, let's go over some things again.
Are there even any hot tops? Did anybody have a life? I was just
getting ready to say, child. Okay. I dug down into the bottom of that barrel of apples, and I just did the best that I could.
That's all right.
Here's a name that we may be saying for the first time on the podcast: Vanessa Hutchins. little white child. I think Vanessa Hudgens is the same age as me, so I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But she was, I think, on Instagram and was talking about the coronavirus. Someone asked her about it, I believe. And she responded in a way that was like really just, it was a fool. Granted, for me, it just kind of seemed like she was drinking whatever kind of wine she likes and probably taking some Real Housewives pills, like a Valium or whatever the Beverly Hills Orange County girls take.
Xanax.
Because she seems like, you know, having a good time because we're having a bad time, if you know what I mean. And so...
Wow, that's the theme of my life. So, goddamn.
Because even like the way she spoke, she said something like, okay... She said, July sounds like a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry, but like, it's a virus. I get it. Like, I respect it. But at the same time, I'm like, even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are going to die, which is terrible, but like inevitable. And then she said, like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this right now, which let me also feel like mama has had a little Pinot whatever. And she's just feeling things. But the way that she said, people are going to die. I felt like I was watching. I mean,
it's gonna happen, y'all.
It was like Parks and Rec. I was just crying. Anyways.
Oh, God bless her.
She posted.
I mean, that's probably some stupid, like that's some drunk, stupid shit right there.
Damn.
Maybe. I don't really know her like that. But.
Absolutely. And who's not getting shit faced right now except like completely sober people?
I don't know.
She posted a picture on her Instagram page of one of the many photos of doctors, nurses, physicians, all people in medical field have been trying to drive home this message of everybody staying the fuck in the house to make not only their work lives easier, but literally every living person's lives easier. Right. So, you know, damage control. Someone called her like, my God, Vanessa, I take my eyes off of you for just 2 days and just post it now. This is what the kids are doing. So this is not, I mean, mama, have your wine.
I mean, yeah, it's a mess, but like the point of people dying and it being inevitable, like us being sequestered and quarantined and all this is to minimize the number of people who die and to help out these poor medical professionals who are overwhelmed with the number of niggas suddenly pouring into the hospital. Cause like corona is not the only thing that can happen to you. People have medical emergencies every fucking day. So we need to minimize all that shit.
Exactly. Like I think we're past the part of understanding this is going to lead to more inevitable deaths. I think that we kind of
know that,
we've
girl.
been there for a taste, which is why again, it's just like, I know when I've had just a bit too much wine or whatever. But this gives me wine drunk. I know when I've had a bit and I'm just be talking in circles like, because if you think about it, like some pizza is square and some is round. And like, why isn't there like a completely octagon pizza? I just feel like you just start tasting it. It just doesn't even add up. In that case, also, before I move on, those 3 of you who sent me some YouTube links about the 5G conspiracies and I owe Carrie Hilson an apology. You out your mind. She out her mind. Like,
yeah, y'all crazy. Bitch, ain't nobody... Girl.
I had to do there was that one episode of Moesha where them niggas like, it was the horror episode and they was talking about how that one kid in high school or whatever was trying to come back and kill him. And the only one that didn't know nothing about it was Niecy because she didn't go to school with them at the time. So they had this thing where they was like, why am I bringing this up? They had this thing where she was like, they were like all for one and one for all. Hakeem, Kim, and Mo. And when they did that in the den or wherever, they said all for what, one for all. Niecy said, and all y'all crazy. That's how I feel.
Correct.
Listen.
All you niggas are nuts.
First of all, I wasn't like debating whether or not 5G cell towers are dangerous in general. I feel like there's a lot of information out there that at least discusses it not being dangerous. However, I'm not anything but man, so I understand that. But what I'm saying is that now is not the time for you to be pulling out 5G conspiracies about coronavirus when A, it don't make no damn sense. B, you're not in the field to even legitimize what you're saying. And C, the field that you are in, you haven't done anything for long. Like, it's just like, why would you come back here? Why would you come here now and be like, hey, girls, so turn your iPhone off? What?
Yes, that is so important. Like, you can send me all the YouTube links and Facebook screenshots that you have in your phone, but you are not a network engineer. Like, you are not no kind of engineer. You don't know shit about what's going on. If your phone don't work, you pick it up and dial whatever emergency line to get through to Sprint or Verizon, whoever the fuck else. Like, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. So why don't you just let the actual experts, the people who know something about diseases and viruses and cell phones, why don't you let them do the talking? This is the problem with social media.
It's just so much. I can't.
Yeah. Niggas do the most.
Mere days after, I think it was mere days after they announced the release date, the release date of 6ix9ine, Tekashi, whatever that child's name is, Rainbow Bright. When they said she's getting out in August, I think.
Oh, Lord.
And not even a few days later, this nigga is dealing with like 3 different lawsuits.
How?
Like, I'm gonna walk you through it. So the first one,
no, I don't know.
The first one comes from our girls at Fashion Nova. They want 2 points.
Oh shit.
They want $2.25 million from the doll, and they want it now.
For what?
So apparently he had like some sort of a Fashion Nova deal. I learned so much from this one piece of information, and it's all so funny to me. But he was like a brand ambassador for Fashion Nova, and they paid him in advance in late 2018, and then like just a little bit later, he was locked up. They want their money. Also, apparently, this was fun for me. Apparently, he also had already pissed them off because he was supposed to like do a name drop for Fashion Nova in one of his songs.
Oh my God.
But allegedly, Nicki Minaj wasn't trying to hear that shit because she's on the song too with Kanye West, I believe. And he switched the Fashion Nova line in the song to apple bottoms instead. So,
of all the fucking brands.
Right. Thank you. Like, what?
A Fashion Nova shouldn't even be mad at that. Apple Bottom, is that even a brand anymore? Did Nelly bring it back?
Right? I was like, when did this song come out?
I mean, Tekashi 6ix9ine was a poor choice as a brand ambassador any fucking way.
What are we doing?
So y'all probably should just write that off as a loss, but they probably still trying to recoup some of that money from Ariana Grande suing the shit out of them. Remember that?
I forgot about that.
They probably trying to get their coins wherever the fuck they can. Because Ariana was like, no, the check needs to be in the mail. Thank you so much.
I just think it's so funny that they want their money from that situation, or like they were upset about that situation with the song. But then also I learned that Fashion Nova is absolutely out here cutting checks for people to name drop them in songs, which I don't know why I didn't already assume that. Like, obviously I knew a lot of the posts and stuff. Those are clear, ads or whatever. But I'd heard, I want to say, more than a couple Fashion Nova shout outs on songs recently. And I'm just like, I know it's like affordable for the girls that want to look like, Alexa Sky or whatever. But like shout outs, this all, it puts 2 and 2 together for me. So I found that to be delicious. So they want 2.25. Then he's being sued by a girl who says she was struck by a stray bullet in a shooting that he ordered also in 2018. that ain't have nothing to do with her, and she's required surgery, physical therapy, psychological treatment. She lost her job,
all that shit,
all that kind of stuff. And so she would like $150 million, sir. Thank you very much. Then we're gonna move.
I'm sorry. Does she know who she asking it from?
Girl, like I don't know what they do. Like I know
shooting
like
for the moon.
1.5 songs from this young man.
I cannot even give you that. I can't give you one fucking Tekashi lyric. I don't know her, but no, I know 150 million ain't what that nigga got. I know that. Absolutely not. Not in liquid assets right now today. It ain't no way.
Like after all of the legalese, all of this shit, like,
okay,
that nigga would be lucky if he can get a bomb pop. But I don't know. Like I don't know. I really don't know.
The 2.25 million maybe, but that 150 I already know is a hell no. That's a hell no. She just throwing a number out there, just see what stick, see what'll slide down off the wall and she can actually take home. But no, that ain't it.
He got to sit these niggas down and just be like, all right, look, I got one photo left in my hands and 2 girls in front of me.
No. Okay, so boom.
So what is it going to be? Now, Fashion Nova, I hear what you're saying, but she actually took a bullet. So I just feel like in fairness, but that's not even it. He's also being sued by one of his former friends who says that he allegedly ordered a hit out on him because they fell out or something. I didn't see a monetary request here. I don't see a number, but he's at least racked up 3 lawsuits before he's even. And meanwhile, he talking about he want to get out of jail early because of coronavirus. Nigga, don't you think every locked up nigga want to go home?
They all do. Everybody do. I'm sure you do, but the virus is out here too. So don't worry. Yeah. It ain't you're not missing out. It's not like it's only in prison, dog. It's everywhere. It is everywhere. And I didn't even know you could sue people for ordering a hit on you. That sounds like something you could press charges for.
No.
Like all you did was order the hit. That sounds like criminal conspiracy. But that young lady who actually got shot, she deserves her bills paid and then some.
Well, his attorney is reportedly defending most of these things. He's out here with all of the jargon. So I guess we'll see what happens. But again, I'll be surprised if he just makes it, honestly. I wish him the best, sincerely, because he just seems like a dumb kid that wanted to be a gangster real bad. And like when keeping it real goes wrong, it just...
Oh, right. You learn to stay in a child's place. You didn't have no business over there running with them people that you did not know like that.
There's
and here you are.
Literally nothing wrong with just going and getting yourself. A job and being a regular nigga. And just...
It ain't nothing wrong with that. You do the jean wall at Old Navy and that's fine.
Like
the jeans need folding.
Just do it. Just fine. Be a regular person. You don't have to be like your favorite rapper. You don't need to be a gangster nigga. You can have a wonderful life of happiness and like love and kids and all of that stuff and clock into a regular job if you just try. You don't have to be a trap nigga. You don't.
You
don't have to do it.
Millions of people do it every day. They just go to work, come home, feed their kids, watch some TV, smoke a little weed, go to bed. It ain't nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong. And no, of course, there's nothing wrong with also wanting to be on private jets and pour champagne down strippers' titties and live that lavish life as well. And, God willing, you can work your ass off and get to that point some way, or maybe you win lottery or some other thing. But you don't have to like literally live a life of crime just because you feel like that's the fun rap thing to do. Like most of these niggas don't do it anyway. The ones that talk
and
about
the laws are real. That's not. You might just be over here playing games and trying to be all big and bad, but the law is. But you found that part out. I ain't got to tell you.
Not to mention,
found
like,
that out, sir.
You could just be any old regular rapper that just, you know what I'm saying, just had a regular life out of high school and played football in college or whatever the fuck, and now you're a rapper. Like, you just be like a regular nigga, and it's not going to stop the police from just fucking with you anyway. Ask like literally any rapper ever in the world. So that make it easy as hell. I don't know.
You know,
Mark
that
Wahlberg.
girl, every now and okay, all right, never mind. I see what you're doing here, and I'm moving away from it. God damn it! I cannot stand you.
In a live feed with his father, Aubrey Graham has let the world know that he does not have the coronavirus. He was tested for it after photos came out of him like shaking hands or dapping up. Was it Kevin Durant? You know something?
Oh yeah, I think Kevin has it.
I just realized why I always think Kevin Durant is someone else, because in my mind I'm seeing Kevin Garnett.
Oh Lord.
And I feel like that is fair because their last names have at least 3 of the same letters.
Okay.
Anyway, because Kevin Durant is the one that you hate, no?
Well,
he betrayed you.
Hate is a strong word, but yes, he betrayed me and the rest of Oklahoma City. So
I know sports.
Well, now listen. Now you got a little bit too much dip on your chip. Didn't nobody say all that? Yeah. But Kevin Garnett is like 45 years old. So
that sounds about right. I haven't heard much from the doll in a minute, but
yeah, and they don't actually look. Well, I mean,
I didn't mix them up because they look alike. I just I always get the names mixed up. So sometimes when I hear Kevin Durant, I'm thinking of Kevin Garnett. And
that's probably the last time you paid attention to basketball.
Yeah, that's literally, it just came to me right now. Because it always takes me into. Anyways, Drake was pictured with him. I believe it came out that Kevin, I almost said Garnett again, Durant was one of a few NBA players that's been reportedly tested positive for coronavirus. And, so the girls were like, no, he just got them diamond studs put in and we don't need this. So he was on live with his daddy and told us that, he's good and all of that stuff. His daddy, by the way, has to be swimming in puss. Like, this nigga still wear do-rags. His mustache. Oh God. His mustache says, I have no less than 3 white women on red. He just looks like the cool uncle that you at the family reunion for at least an hour and 45 minutes before this nigga come in. You hear his voice before you see him and let me refill my drink because the party has finally begun. The cool family.
Correct. And he's bringing some Crown Royal.
Oh, yes.
Or some Hennessy. That's the uncle that's getting up there in age, but you can't tell him that because the pussy is still plentiful and he ain't never gonna stop chasing it.
Matter of fact, his girlfriend is driving the boat. Like, he's not even like...
Oh, yeah.
He's brought
She on Instagram Live, driving the boat.
There it is.
In the club.
So...
Well, good for Aubrey. I'm glad he don't have the Rona.
Yeah, anybody who's been exposed or just freaked out and knows that they're healthy, glad to hear it. Do your best to follow these guidelines, these simple things. I know that the girls are in full panic mode, wanting to pull out their lashes. It has been maybe 7 days. Like, has it been a week?
It has. It's been, at this point, 8 days.
Oof. But again... I live with my dog. A lot of people have families that they live with, roommates or things like that that made sometimes it's like it's not the same sort of stay-at-home energy when somebody else's energy is right there clashing with yours and you don't have the break of going to work or the gym,
sending them kids to school,
right, or Krispy Kreme, wherever it is that you could just get away. So my heart's with everybody trying to make it through forced introversion.
That's something me and my therapist have been talking about and working on, finding the blessings in this situation, or trying to find whatever bright side or silver lining that I can possibly get. Right. And the fact that I'm in this house by myself, sometimes I'm like, oh, it's a little quiet, it's a little lonely. But then all I have to do is just text one of my many friends with kids and husbands and all that. And it just all goes away.
That's a fact. Oh,
it just all goes away.
That's true.
Because they are all climbing the fucking walls right now. So I'm just going to say, thank you, Jesus. You know better than I do.
Well, see, that pet life is great. Because there's always
yeah. See, when I've been thinking about, I've been thinking about fostering. See, the thing with cats is, if you scratch up my furniture, I'm gonna beat your ass.
That's fair.
And it's like unethical to declaw them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and
but if you scratch up my couch, I'm going to beat you. You could be moody. You could go over there and be moody. But if you scratch up my furniture, I'm booting your ass right off the balcony. So you can't come up in here with that bullshit. I need an old cat that don't give a fuck about nothing and ain't trying to destroy nothing. It just want to chill out and eat and be taken care of for the rest of its days.
Yeah,
that's what I need in here. Not no baby.
What else? So Bun B and his wife were in an unfortunate situation a day or two ago. I think this just happened. At a drive-thru for Whataburger, of all places. So
why?
Bun B and his wife were at the Whataburger drive-thru. It was jam-packed because it's Whataburger.
Right. Okay.
And so some very perturbed young white woman was, I guess, trying to get by in her car and allegedly threatened to shoot Bun B's wife.
No, she didn't. Oh, she didn't know who she was talking to.
I mean...
she just didn't know who she was talking to.
They said that she threatened to shoot his wife, Angela, and called her a stupid nigger.
Oh, no. Rest in peace to that white woman.
So...
I know you fucking lying.
So they put the car in park and...
Oh, fuck.
So they put the car in park. Bun B got on Instagram Live.
Oh,
and I'm telling you, this lady, she didn't get out the car. They waited for like the police to get there or whatever. But she was verbally dragging this lady. Like, I urge you to find the clip because she went off. The police came there, got the whole situation sorted or whatever, went about their way.
Lord.
But apparently,
at the fucking Whataburger,
they spotted the white girl going into like a nearby Walgreens and followed her in there. And she went to the girl face to face and was like, "So, am I still that nigga that you was?"
Yes, God.
Nice.
Somebody leaked the security footage because I know it's out there and I need it.
She was in there with her COVID mask on her face and basically told this white girl, "What's up?" That white girl looks like the most scared little thing I have ever seen in my life. And thankfully, they didn't bother putting hands on her, but she knew she was getting that ass, so she tried to get up on out of there as quickly as possible. What the fuck were you thinking about? First of all,
right,
this is a crime against Texas. I want her in jail.
Right. I mean, this is Houston, right? They had to have been in Houston.
Yeah.
Bitch, you talking like that in Houston. I'm surprised ain't nobody hemmed you up already. Like, because I know this ain't your first nigga. So I'm shocked you ain't got your ass beat for this already. But of all the niggas to call a nigga, you pick Bun B's wife?
Are you literally stupid?
Things aren't, they're not clicking. They're not clicking. This is Trump's fault.
Yeah.
Trump got these white people thinking they can do what the fuck ever and won't nothing happen. Ain't no consequences. Ain't no repercussions. Just talk crazy. They doing crazy shit to the Asian people now. Not even just Chinese people, because a lot of y'all cannot tell the difference between Chinese people and other Asian people anyway. So, right, or don't care, which is more likely to be true. And so they just throwing out all kinds of terrible shit, harassing these people, same way they did Muslim Americans after 9/11. And it's just... At least, oh God, and I hate to say anything good about George W. Bush, but at least he like condemned people being assholes. At least he like tried to get them to not act that way. Whereas Trump is, the people attacking Asians, like that is Trump's direct fault. That is him literally stoking those fires, encouraging people to be assholes.
Exactly. Like all of they live for that. Like they love the fact that he's literally the president in office, and he basically like enables and impassions them to do all of the things that they've been doing. So they are super, way more bold now than ever, because there are more people who are like, our racist A racist god is basically running things right now. And the thing that really chaps my ass about this man is that like, or not even him specifically, but like a lot of Republicans. I'm not talking about middle American, you know what I'm saying, bucktooth racist ass motherfuckers. I'm talking about like people who literally know better, but are not doing better or saying better. When all of this is over and he's no longer in office, they're all going to switch their tone and completely act like he was the stupidest president and they didn't understand what the fuck he was doing and how crazy he was and how did he even make it into the White House, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that is really I know it's going to happen. I know it is going to happen, and it's going to drive me fucking nuts because it's not even like, jokes aside, he is so mind-blowingly inept. Like,
I was gonna say, there's never been anybody more incompetent for the job.
And it's so blatant. It's not like there's no sweeping it under the rug. He's literally out of his fucking mind. But anyway,
yeah, it's been a lot going on with Trump and him being even dumber than normal, especially at a time when we really need a president who has some goddamn sense for us to not have it.
Yeah.
But all these Republican senators and House reps, we not gonna forget when it comes time to vote. We not gonna forget. And when it's 6,000 Americans dead and 35% unemployment because of this damn virus, don't be surprised when your ass get booted right the fuck out of office, because y'all could have did better and choose to not.
God, I hope so. But
Me too. I'm not going to hold my breath, but I hope.
Last but not least, we had there's yet another chapter in this fucking Kanye West Taylor Swift thing. Apparently, the phone call, I would love to know. Any piece of information would be good.
Okay.
So apparently, like, the full conversation, the phone call between Kanye and Taylor where they talked about Famous before he released it came out. And I guess her fans did this Kanye West is over party thing because it somehow like backs up everything that Taylor Swift was saying and and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, girl, now like, we stopped caring about this such a long time ago, girls.
Right.
Like, now
and
this
what
is
happened
what
to being what happened to exclude me from this narrative and you want to be left out? Like, why are we coming back to this?
I don't give a fuck. Like,
is Taylor bored?
I don't know what's going on, but I feel like God has to be like I'm already tired. Like, for like those of us who have two or more siblings, if two of y'all ever got in trouble and your parent was pissed off, and then that one sibling comes over and it's like, Daddy, I'm a little thirsty. Can I have some juice? No, you cannot have any damn juice. Go cup your hands under the damn faucet in the bathroom and lap at it.
Correct.
Fuck. Leave me alone. I don't want to talk to y'all. Like, that's... What are we doing? Nobody cares about this.
Yeah, I don't like Taylor. People are dying. People are dying, girl. And I will say, somebody forced me to watch her documentary on Netflix.
That person hates you.
I don't disagree, but I watched it, and to my surprise, Taylor was not as awful as I thought she would be. Honestly, explained a lot about her. It really did. And I'm willing to give her a certain amount of grace, you know, just as a young woman who became famous and grew up, you know, in the public eye and being so famous and all this pressure on her and all the bullshit. All of that is fine. But I watched that and had that opinion of her before this, whatever the fuck you talking about now just came out. Like, bringing back the Kanye and Kim bullshit. And like, girl, we don't like Kanye. I don't know why. We hate Kanye, sis. Everybody hates Kanye. So
when I saw that they made this hashtag Kanye is over party or whatever the fuck, I was like, child, if y'all the last ones were gonna choose when Kanye West is over or whatever, like, the hip hop community will absolutely do that. Thank you very much. You don't get to choose. Yeah. And many of the hip hop community had already been doing this. Like, Mama has been full force in her gospel era for a minute, you know what I'm saying? Trying to be Kirk Franklin or whatever. And so what are we like, why is this a thing? What in the fuck?
don't care.
Let's all move on.
Right.
Someone also asked me to watch that documentary and be like, well, I guess they assumed it would give me the same revelations of whatever with her. And it's like, the thing about it is, like, I don't feel like she's just this evil person or snake or whatever. I just feel like she's a white girl. I just think she's very peak white girl. Like, all of the isms of a white, like, if you have like scales and your personality tree when you're born from 1 to 10, all of the white girl scales are like 15 for her. That's it. Yes. I don't feel like she's, eating babies raw and just being a terrible, evil vampire ass bitch. I just think she's peak white girl, and it's kind of like obnoxious about it, and that's just annoying. So,
well, you did call her a White Walker.
Well, because that's funny.
I'm just saying, I think that's why people. You ain't shit.
I'm extra. Like, what the fuck are you? I mean, duh. 90% of the things I say are hyperbolic.
I think she is, trying to do better or be better when she finally spoke up against that horrid woman in Tennessee or wherever in that election in 2016. And then the woman won anyway, but she was like all devastated. I'm like, okay, maybe you're growing up and realizing you can speak up for yourself and talk about the things you believe in and all that. Like, right. I'm going to give you that, but you ain't never going to catch me being a Swiftie, rushing to buy tickets or stream nothing or none of that. Like, I will just let Taylor Swift grow up and do her.
Yeah, that's about it.
That's fine.
Well, that's it for our hot tops this week. We're going to take a break. And, right. And
there is nothing.
Let's move on. So listen, you ain't going nowhere. Hey, you probably got a lot on your mind because look outside. So if you find that you may need to talk to somebody to get a little bit of help, a little therapy, a little something to maybe ease your mind, or you just got a rant on your heart, any old thing, check out Talkspace. It's online therapy, and it is both convenient and affordable, especially for things today. Talkspace matches you with a therapist, a licensed one at that, based on your needs and your preferences. And with thousands of licensed therapists trained in over 40 specialties available, you can send your therapist texts, audio, picture, video messages, anything from your phone, from your computer, wherever you need to. So like, that's really the dope thing about it, is you have someone to talk to, but also like you can maybe do it on your lunch break or in transit somewhere possibly, or, before you go to bed. So it's got a lot of different options.
Exactly. And the convenience, especially now when, in-person therapy is not even possible for most of the country.
Look at that.
All the more reason to sign up for Talkspace and let out all these feelings. We're going through a lot. People are stressed in ways we have never been stressed before. And it is so important to talk to somebody. The bottom line is that life can be hard. Corona came through to prove that once and for all. And Talkspace wants to give us more of the support we need at a price we can afford. You can get $100 off your first month on Talkspace. Just go to Talkspace.com or download the app to get started and match with your perfect therapist. And then make sure you use code READ. That's right, READ, to get $100 off your first month of Talkspace. Again, code READ, Talkspace.com. Go talk to somebody. It's super important. Let's get back to the show.
All right, so we're back. It is now time for our listener letters.
Yes, it is. Send your questions to asktheread@gmail.com. We may read them aloud on the show. Our first question comes from Typhoid Mary, who says, I recently got out of a long relationship where once a month sex was normal, and I was ready to line up my rotation for the spring because I haven't let this thing loose, girl, in so long. Okay. And I did. I now have 2 6-foot-tall men who are willing to travel through a pandemic to my place to have sex.
Oh
I haven't gotten this much good. I haven't gotten this much good dick in a long time, but I'm wondering if it's time for me to bench the roster. I live alone and I take as many precautions as I can, but as you know, straight men can be nasty.
Oh, God.
Neither one of them lives with someone elderly or immune compromised, and neither one of them thinks they'd be severely impacted if they did get the Rona. I, on the other hand, know it's not something to be taken lightly, and I kind of feel like I'm taking advantage of the fact that men would do anything for pussy in this in these hard times. Am I an irresponsible sociopath for having not one but two hookups through all of the coronavirus panic? Please help. Typhoid Mary.
Sorry about that. I'm literally
like,
talking to you
whose
on my phone. This letter is hilarious. I just think that it's so hilarious that you would even consider the possibility that you are taking advantage of niggas, like, and their inevitable and expected quest for pussy through a crisis, because one monkey don't stop no show. Here's the thing. I feel like experts would say it's irresponsible. I'm just a nigga that talks shit for a living, so I don't know that I'm going to word that. I think that you're probably, you say that you're well aware of the seriousness of the situation. I don't think there's anything wrong with, letting the puss sit for a minute and, do some breathing exercises, both of you, and, kick this thing out for a bit longer and see how things go. Especially if you're talking about niggas who show little to no concern for the crisis, because like if they act like they don't give a fuck when they're with you, imagine all the things that they're not giving a fuck, or ways they're not giving a fuck when you're not monitoring them or around them or whatever. Like, are these niggas really washing their hands? Are these niggas really washing anything? So I feel all important things to consider when you think about what's going on.
Right. Because like, I understand you was really ready for your whole season to flourish and all that, but the coronavirus is not something to play with. And even though they're right about the fact that like, if they get it, they likely, wouldn't have to go to the ER or whatever. Most people will be just fine and not need to go to intensive care if they get corona. Right. But like, why would you want to risk it?
Exactly.
You don't know where they go when they're not with you. You don't know, like your Fury said, what kind of hygiene habits they have. And people can carry it for like 3 fucking weeks and not have no symptoms. So it's just not, as much as I'm happy for you for getting out of that relationship and ready to set that pussy out again, I just think it's not worth the risk right now, girl. Like, people can't breathe, sis. Like it is, and it can trigger all other kinds of health issues. Like Fran was telling me about her friend who has it, and now it has triggered like some sort of heart problem with him that he's gonna have to deal with now. And it's like, God damn, man.
Right. We just don't know shit about this disease. You know what I mean? We're learning bit by bit. And that's one of the things that like, cause my anxiety was trash this past week because I keep bumping into stuff even when I'm trying not to read the news and stuff. It's like impossible to not see it unless you just don't go on social media, period. Right. But it's just like, I'm waiting for information that's like, here's something new about the virus itself. Like, here's something else we've learned about it that is like steps toward, something better, like some good news. And all that I'm hearing is just like, yeah, more and more people are getting sick and we really still don't know what the fuck to do about it. So
exactly,
it's like every little thing that you can do to help in that issue, I just feel like we can do it. Like, it's just been a week. I understand, especially because I feel like this sort of cabin fever is also driving people's libido crazy. Like, not me. I'm the exact opposite. No, it's killing me. But I also have.
I am not interested at all.
13 months, maybe 14.
Okay, I am not interested at all.
So, I get it, but I also can wait. Story of my life. So I just feel like you can just. We could just chill if we can, you know what I'm saying? Because again, even you not getting sick, it's another concern that you should take seriously is the possibility of getting someone else sick who could get a serious case of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, let's just try to chill. Because girl, I told the dolls, I'm not leaving my house. Like, listen, I have the food. I have the water. I have the sanitizer, the disinfectant, and the weapons. I don't need to go anywhere. So
it's a whole ass bleach party over here. I've actually really been enjoying deep cleaning every corner of my home.
It's fun.
I don't know about fun, but it is highly satisfying to clean things. I found some masks that I ended up taking to the hospital and donating because, of course, I just had masks in my home because I'm that sort of bitch.
Right.
But like now is not the time to be bringing, especially new niggas around you just whenever they feel like it, girl. No, you're going to have to say no to dick. Say yes to vibrators for the time being.
I mean, sometimes you're better off.
Most times.
I just realized I have extra masks that I can donate to, and I live right by the hospital. I'll probably do that this week. But yeah, girl, keep it cool.
It's not worth
Don't
it.
trust these niggas. It's not really worth it.
Yeah,
but congratulations to you for getting things jumped off in general, you know, and hopefully we can get back to that as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. But you know, I think the Treasury Secretary said 10 to 12 weeks. Anyway, I don't know. Yeah, we gonna pray about that. Yeah. All right. Next letter. Our next letter comes from Shanna, who says, I'm a 29-year-old lesbian and autistic, and I've never had a relationship that lasted longer than a couple of months. Sometimes I feel like I'm destined to be alone, and being on the spectrum does not make dating any easier. I'm constantly working with my therapist on social skills, and I have been meeting women on dating apps. I don't have a problem getting matches because I am attractive and witty, but I almost always get ghosted after first dates. I think it's because I probably come off as uninterested because I have a hard time making eye contact. I'm slow to warm up to others, and in general, I'm pretty awkward. Now I'm wondering if I should include in my bios online that I'm autistic. I've always been against it before because I think people would automatically be uninterested, but I also don't want to waste anyone else's time or my own. I usually bring it up later to someone I'm dating if things start to get serious because it is a big part of who I am, and it affects the way I navigate the world. If y'all were using a dating app to meet people, would you want to know if the person you were matching with was neurodiverse or had a disability that wasn't visible from photos? Do you think it's dishonest for me not to include it in my bio? I really want to meet someone and potentially have something long-term, and I wonder if me disclosing I'm autistic up front would change the type of women I attract. Thanks, Shanna.
Okay, well, I don't feel like any person owes me that if I were to be, you know, on a Tinder or whatever. I don't feel like you need to tell me anything about that. It will probably help to know it when you do go on a date. Just if you feel like there's a possibility someone that you're actually interested in may misunderstand you, maybe if you're comfortable, you can bring that up on a date. I don't think that you should feel uncomfortable or feel like it's something that you should be like ashamed to share on something like an app or anything like that. But I'm saying, like, I also don't think that you owe it to anybody. And it could just be a part of, you know, the discussion that you have. And like, given what I know about autism, I don't know a lot, so I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm an expert on it, but I know that I would fully be open to dating someone who deals with autism. I just, like, you gotta just date. You know what I mean? Like, if I feel like if it's not that thing, like a lot of people who might write you off would just write you off for something else. You know what I mean? Like, you might get like a couple of bad dates or date someone for a few weeks and then not lead to something for like a multitude of ways. So like, I think that eventually you will meet someone who you just click with and they get it and they like you because you say that you're cute and witty. So like, you already, you know, say got some cards in your deck, some good ones. So I just feel like, you know, you got to weed out the people who ain't worth it anyway before you get to the person who is absolutely the person for you. And then, you know, you just do your best to have a good time in that relationship, but not relationship, excuse me, but like, unless it gets there, but like have a good time and be present in it, but also don't let it determine your sense of self-worth or value or anything like that, because like, fuck all that shit. Like, the world's literally on fire. Well, not literally, but you know, like
I mean, it might be.
I mean, yeah. So I mean, Australia, look what the fuck is going on. So yeah, I think that it's an understandable thing to be curious about or feel a way about, or, you know, want to understand a bit more. But like, I just say, fuck these hoes if they don't like it or can't accept it. And I think it's also your choice on how you have the discussion.
Right. I definitely wouldn't call it dishonest because you don't put it in your bio. Like, that's not something you have to tell people, especially random strangers who just so happen to come across your profile. Yeah. I think if you think that people aren't really connecting with you on first dates, it might be good to say it then as opposed to waiting longer. Like, this isn't my particular struggle in life, but it may make it easier if people know on that first date, like, oh, this person isn't totally uninterested in me. She's autistic. Okay. So like, let's continue to have a conversation. Like, maybe it'll help people because you might be getting ghosted because they think you aren't interested. It's like, damn, she's so fine and she's witty and she dresses so nice and she is like not talking to me. So this person's not interested in me. So
and that's what she's
maybe saying it then. Yeah. Or like even just, I mean, as somebody who is kind of reclusive, if I go out with somebody, it takes me a long time to truly warm up and open up to somebody new.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have no problem telling niggas that. Like, it takes a while to really get to know me. And if that's a problem for you, then, I mean, you can go and I will be all right. So, yeah, maybe just look at it like that, approach it like that, where it's like, you know, you just letting people know up front what's up. And then, you know, they can make the decision from there, but it's definitely nothing wrong with you, whether you decide to put it on your bio or not. That's completely your choice, and can't nobody tell you wrong for that.
Exactly. And that's such a good point. Like, there's probably a lot of people who, for a list of different reasons, may come off like a bit, you know, disinterested or whatever, even though they're totally interested. And like, that's why I said, like, if you actually are interested in the person that you're going on this first date with, then maybe let them know. If you feel like you're not, being understood, or you feel like they may, you know, feel like you're disinterested or whatever, then maybe then say, yeah, like, this is a thing with me and whatever. I'm having a good time or whatever. So I don't want you to think that like you're gross to me or something. Maybe find like a zinger, like something to make them laugh and then, you know, keep it moving. But then, like, if it's a whack date anyway, then fuck them. Like,
right, or don't. Right. If the date is whack, just don't say nothing. Be like, yeah, this one can ghost. That's fine. You can just ghost. Especially lesbians. Like, people are shitty. All kinds of people are shitty, but hopefully lesbians are less shitty than others and are, you know, more willing to be understanding of that, because there's so many autistic people in this world. To be like, oh, I just don't date autistic people is so fucked up.
It just makes
that
sense
is just
to me.
so like, girl, do you even know?
Right.
Like, you just don't know what you're talking about.
So much information, but yeah,
so much is missing. Yes, but best of luck to you. She did. I want to say before we move on, she did send this in before the pandemic really started to sweep. So I'm sure at this point she's not really worried about. But you know, maybe for first Skype dates, people are doing all kind of shit to get around dating, which honestly blows my mind. Like, I did not know people cared that much about romantic connections with others.
I'm telling you,
no.
If there wasn't
if
this wasn't all caused by a fatal virus running the streets, I'd be having a blast. Like, this is so the anxiety from the killer disease is really all that's fucking this up for me.
Oh Lord. Okay. Woo, good luck to you, Shanna. Let's move on. Our next question comes from BB, who says, I've been dating this guy who is 9 years older than I am, and we've been together for about a year. He's perfect and treats me like a queen, but he has a 6-year-old son. He has financially supported this child and his mother for quite some time now, the child's mother. They still have a domestic partnership, but they broke up about 2 years ago. Of course, they were still fucking after their breakup, but that lasted only until he met me. Okay. What? There were definitely a few so her boyfriend and his baby mama / ex were fucking until her boyfriend met her.
Okay. But she said she's been with him for how long?
She's been with him for a year. They broke up 2 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were definitely a few red flags in the beginning regarding the nature of their relationship, but of course I ignored it. Last November, he caught his child's mom fucking one of his family members and made the decision then to cut her off. made the decision to cut her off in May when their son's private school year ends. That would include moving her out of the house that he pays for her and his son to live in. But now with the fucking coronavirus in full swing, he has decided to quarantine himself with his child and his baby mother for the time being. Yes, he has moved into that home with his child and his baby mother. He assures me all day long that nothing is happening, but I don't know that I can believe it. I'm afraid that if they're not fucking, they're going to reconcile since they're stuck together all day long. Please help. I love this guy a lot and I really see a future with him, but the stress of what could be happening between them over there is consuming. P.S. Love the show and your advocacy for mental health. Thanks, BB.
Issa Rae needs to write a comedy about this.
BB, I'm so sorry. That's not your man no more. That is not your man no more, sis.
Oh, no, it's not.
No.
The child is 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he has, girl. The man is shut up in the house with his baby mama and his son.
That fucked his family.
Reason. Right. For whatever reason. Like, it don't make sense to me that he would be over there, but he's 100% absolutely fucking her. That's not even a question.
Drop that shit off right in the Blockbuster bin and peel off, bitch. It's like, it's done.
It is.
I don't, because I'm not, because here's the thing. It doesn't even matter like what the right or wrong choice on his part would be in this situation. I don't even know if there is a right or wrong choice in that situation, but he made a choice. And, homegirl right here just told you 10, 12 weeks or whatever the fuck it is they talking about. So it sounds to me like you're single, and that's fine. That's fine. Now's the time to, write a book about it. Or, get to know you again and, prepare for, lots of the girls doing home workouts on Instagram, the trainers. And so you can get prepared at home for the undoubted stream of hot girl parties that are going to happen once all of this.
Oh, it's going to happen.
God willing, it does. So, yeah, you sound super single, girl, and there are plenty of songs for that. Like, what you want me to tell you? Tell that nigga to come and leave his job? I mean, like, this is, again, the thing. Like, I feel like if he would have just chose to stay with you, I don't think that that's wrong, because his kid is 6. You know what I mean? Like, but at the same time, if he was like, I need to be with my son because I don't know how long this whole thing is going to go, I don't think that's wrong either, because his kid is 6.
I mean, it's not.
So it's just,
everybody, if he and his girlfriend are both staying home and the baby mama and the son are both staying home, then it should be okay for the son to go back and forth between those two houses.
But they're staying at his house, right?
The house that he pays for them to live in. That's where he is with them now.
Oh, okay, so I see your problem.
Right. So I can't blame him for wanting to quarantine with his child. It probably is for the best. Right. It's definitely safest for them not to be shuttling that baby back and forth.
Yeah.
But you just need to understand that him making the responsible decision for his child also means he's fucking his baby mama. You really need to believe that. You need to believe that. You do. You need to believe it.
Here's the thing. Even if he isn't, right, you've already admitted that you're going to be sitting there, pulling out your edges over what ifs and could he and might he and may he and all of this other shit for God knows how long. You can't rightfully nag on him about, where he's at or whatever. Maybe he could put on a hazmat suit and come and kick it, which I don't know what it is that you would expect. I just feel like, given the circumstances, I'm saying if it were me, I'm going to play Single Again by Trina and I'm going to drink a Hennessy and just toast to my new life. So that's just what I would do. Next
time you FaceTime you, yes, or however y'all communicate during this quarantine, I would be like, let's just both cut the shit You know, you enjoy your happy home over there. I'm going to go about my life and, you know, focusing on myself right now and all the different ways I could grow in this situation. Because that nigga, if they have a 6-year-old, they broke up 2 years ago and they kept fucking allegedly until he met you. And then you said there were some red flags that you ignored in the beginning of y'all's relationship. Girl, there ain't no way in the world that they are not fucking. I just need you to understand that.
I just need
especially
you
if they still in a domestic partnership or whatever. Like if they still technically together, like legally together or whatever, girl.
There's pussy around this nigga for however many months that we got to do this bullshit, and he's just not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you the one brought up the niggas' red flags. You know what I'm saying? Like, you brought it up. So
you said that.
I'm just going with, you know, assumptions and what I would do given the letter. But, you know, do what you want.
Have you been watching Love After Lockup?
I do not watch that, but I have seen.
That's too bad. That's too bad. Because it has been an incredible season.
I watched a clip of some nigga going back and forth with a white girl, maybe 2 white girls. One of them looks.
Oh yeah, that's
Latina.
Michael. Mm-hmm.
And
that's exactly what I'm talking about. Yep.
In a parking lot, and the white girl just knew he was going to get in the car, and he did not.
And he did not. Right. Well, the white girl is his baby mama / wife,
and
the Latina girl is his current girlfriend. And when he went over to his baby mama / wife's house to visit the kids, he spent the night, and of course they fucked. And then the very next day he went right back with his girlfriend like his wife didn't mean shit to him. And he swore up and down he's in love with this girl and he done moved to Miami to be with her and all this. Nigga could really love you, but he will fuck his baby mama / wife.
I just need you to accept it.
He will. He just will, girl. So
like it will still happen.
Yeah. Let go. You can stop stressing out about it now because we telling you it is happening. So feel free to make your own decisions and be free from this man. Because girl, no, it's just the writing's on the wall.
Unless you want to put a pin in it and, you know, just act like none of this ever happened until you come up out of that other side of this and that 6-year-old got a newborn sibling.
Baby mama probably gonna be pregnant at the end of this quarantine.
I'm just saying.
Probably. So
there'll be a baby shower waiting for you on the other side of this shit.
Best of luck to you. Let's do one more. This one is from Makeda, who says, my father is a stereotypical African dad, and he has all the attributes that stereotype might suggest. He was there for us when we were kids, but only in the sense that he was physically in the house and available to keep us in line. Whenever it came to difficult things like actually parenting, household duties, etc., my mother took over the responsibility. When I was 12, my parents had a terrible divorce and we moved across the country from him. Almost 20 years later, he now tells me that it was miserable living away from us for so long and that being isolated was hell, and my mother is an evil psychopath who took us away from him. My father never visited us or gave us anything other than court-ordered child support. My brother didn't care to make an effort during those years, but I always tried to be there for my dad and checked in on him because I felt like I was the only one who would. 2 years ago, my dad hit his breaking point living alone in a big house and needed to be around people for his sanity. He was falling apart mentally and just extremely unhappy in his isolation. Although I was in the throes of a demanding new job with very little free time, I moved him in with me and helped him get situated. He's the age now where he doesn't like to do difficult things, so even stuff like making doctor's appointments, managing online accounts, etc., all of that I have to do for him. It almost feels like I'm doing the difficult things for him now when he never had to do those for me when I was a child. Ooh, shit.
Yeah.
The issue now is that I'm pregnant and due in a few months. My husband and I have decided to name our son after his father. I picked a middle name that represents my African heritage. No one we've told so far is excited about our name choices, but my husband and I really like them, and those names fit perfectly to us when we think about what we dream of for our son. My father, however, told me that he wants to give the baby a name specific to his tribe that is totally different. I don't care for the meaning of the name he chose or how it sounds, but my dad said he likes it and he will call my son that as he grows up. It irks me deeply. It irks me deeply that he wants to seize the privilege of naming my child. He named my brother and I, even though my mother did the bulk of raising us, and it just doesn't feel fair that he should get to name my son, especially when I didn't give him that right. My father's a sensitive person and can easily feel victimized and will never go to therapy, so I hesitate to be forthright about how I feel. How would you all approach this? Am I being overly sensitive overly sensitive to not want my dad to give my son a name of his choosing? Or should I chill and let him have a third nickname that only grandpa will use? Am I being unreasonable out of resentment? Please help, Makeda.
Wow.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. I feel like you're very valid in what you're feeling. I get it. I do think a lot of it probably does have to do with resentment. And I also just want to recognize that I don't really know like the weight of names like that and attributed to tribe and family and stuff. So like, I don't really know like the complete depths of what that would even mean, but I'm sure that you are still like feeling away because it's just kind of like, how dare you, in a sense.
Right.
So I get that. I feel like, again, if it were me in a similar situation, I would probably just let him. I think I might just let him have that, but I would also be like super passive aggressive about it. Because I know like my baby would be, you know, growing up or whatever and being called whatever, you know, this side name, nickname or whatever it is that his granddaddy call him. And I'd be in the kitchen when he calls him. They're like, you know, like I would just do something like on the way back to the house and be like, that ain't your damn name. Now we're going to McDonald's. Like I was like, I don't know. I'd probably do something like that. But like if you recognize his sensitivity and he's not going to go to therapy with you and stuff like that, then I feel like you can do the work of unpacking the emotional weight of all of that on your own and maybe let him have it. But I also think it's completely fair to just be like, you know what? Nah. But I just feel like if it's going to cause like drama or strife or arguments or depression or sadness or anything that may not get a resolution, then you have to kind of ask yourself how much it's worth it. So I don't know. I think it's really tricky and it sucks, you know, when parents aren't there for us the way that we need them to be.
Right. And so I think because of the history you have with your dad and the fact that he was never really a parent to you anyway, I think you've done more than enough to help this man, to placate him, you raise him like you said, you're doing the difficult things for him now that he never even did for you when you were a kid. Making doctor's appointments for him, that's a grown ass man. Girl, what? Yeah. Like you going out of your way to parent your father. You let him live in your house with your husband. And now he talking about disrespecting you to your face while he lives with you and you take care of him. Sis, where is the line?
Yeah.
How long are you going to let him walk over you? How many different ways can this man take advantage of your overwhelming kindness before you're like, that's enough?
Yeah, that's true.
You have a baby coming, like, and I think if there is ever a time to put your foot down and choose yourself and establish boundaries, it's now that you have a baby coming that you have to look out for.
Yeah.
So I would tell this man, my child's name is what it is. If you can't use the name that we have for him, then you are more than welcome to not live in this house. And you can go back to making your own damn doctor's appointments and driving your own damn self around since you want to be so big and bad and you make the rules and that's that. Like, you don't get to have some big macho, I'm the man and these are my rules attitude when you live in my fucking house. Yeah. Time for that was when I was a child, but I'm not a child no more. So if you can't get with what I'm naming my baby, what I'm naming my baby, then you can get the fuck out of my house. It's that simple. I would not be compromising at all on this, especially because you are bending over backwards for somebody who never extended that same consideration to you. Because like, it's just, girl.
Like you pointing out like the line really strikes with me because it's just like, girl, yeah, there absolutely does have to be like a boundary of like, okay, girl, like we're not going to do that because I've been already doing all of this other stuff and you really did next to nothing for me. So like, I'm going to have this. And if you would like to cry or scream or shout, have at it now, sis. Like, you're totally right. Yeah, I see that.
I mean, and if you feel like there's just no way you can put your foot down with your father, then I would suggest you go to therapy because that's that's really a you issue at that point. If you feel like it's just impossible for you to stand up to him. And I know a lot of people, especially first generation immigrant kids, like they love to point out that their parents just don't give a fuck about boundaries and respect and rules and all that other stuff. And I get that. But just because they don't give a fuck don't mean you have to not give a fuck too. You could be like, okay, you don't care about boundaries, but they're still here and they still exist. So you can either get in line or fuck off.
And a lot of times you just got to show and prove as an adult. Yeah. You know, like sometimes regardless, you got to at least try to do something or say something that's like, okay, love and respect or whatever. But I'm grown and we're not going to do this. So, right. Whatever that means.
If he's so sensitive and feels so easily victimized, you would think that like the people like that love to dish out shit that they can't actually take. And I think your father just needs a little bit of his own medicine. So if I were you, I would put my foot down on this before the baby is born. Let him know what it is and what it ain't. And if he can't get with it, girl, you a whole ass married woman with a job and a baby. So, you know, you can decide what your priorities will be. And best of luck to you because, you know, I'm speaking as somebody who has done it and I know it's not easy, but you know, at some point you have to choose you because nobody else is.
Right.
Oh, all right. I hope that helps, sis. If you have questions, send them to asktheread@gmail.com. We will be right back.
All right. So we know the father of your child is racking up points on Overwatch and Call of Duty and NBA 2K. Ask him when's the last time he checked on his teeth. And if you don't like the answer, maybe you should go ahead and get with Quip. So they make it ever so simple for you to not only have brushed teeth, but to know how to do it. Okay. 2 minutes twice a day, flossing regularly, knowing what brand to use. Quip makes that simple, starting with an electric toothbrush, refillable floss, and anti-cavity toothpaste. Quip's electric brush has sensitive sonic vibrations with a built-in timer and 30-second pulses to guide a full and even clean. It literally helps you brush your teeth properly. And the Quip floss dispenser comes with pre-marked string to help you just enough. You get fresh brush heads delivered, floss and toothpaste refills to your door every 3 months with free shipping for just $5 so your routine is always on time. Join over 3 million healthy miles and get Quip today starting at $25.
That's right. And again, there's nothing more important than good dental health. You know, we're in a time right now where you really don't want to have a medical or dental emergency for any reason. So if you have been neglecting your dental health, now is a good time to get back on it. Go to getquip.com/theread right now to get your first refill free. Again, first refill very, very free at getquip.com/theread. That's GETQUIP.com/theread. Quip is the good habits company. So go pick up some good habits. All right, let's get back to the show.
Okay, so we're back and the soundtrack of New York is playing outside of my window here.
That's right. I've been hearing sirens all fucking day.
I mean, but that's a 24/7 New York thing. Like, I don't never go a day without hearing a siren, but not great at the moment. Hope they get to where they're going and everyone is safe. You want to start?
I don't know, because I don't really have a read. I'm just fucking fed up with this fucking government not giving one fuck about the actual people. The Senate and Mitch McConnell and the bitch ass GOP trying to put up this fucking bill that is basically a huge bailout for corporations and not having any protections for the actual people and workers and no accountability for any of their bullshit, not giving a fuck about the hospitals or the healthcare workers, and Democrats being like, no, we will not sign. We will not approve nothing that doesn't give more money to hospitals, that doesn't boost the medical system, that doesn't actually help the people. We're not going to be bailing out any goddamn companies when y'all aren't even worried about putting people and workers first. Like, this country is fucking falling apart and y'all more worried about saving the big ass corporations that y'all own and have stock in, Kelly Loeffler and others. Did you hear that shit?
Yes.
That bitch, oh my God. I said, so the bitch, y'all over here having secret meetings and shit talking about what's finna happen and the corona is really way more serious than Trump said, and make sure you get rid of that stock and buy this stock and all this other dirty backwards shit.
I mean,
like,
who's even surprised?
I mean, right. I'm not surprised, but I'm fully disgusted with the grand old party, probably more than I have been ever in my fucking life. And I just want to make sure I say this clearly. Y'all can focus on the quote unquote economy or keeping business strong or whatever else all you want to. But if you send people right back on out to work like ain't nothing going on, and you just keep on without any consideration for the hospital, doctors, nurses, fucking RNs, like people who are doing what they can to limit the spread of this virus, and you just say fuck all that and send people back out into the fucking world because you worried about the goddamn economy, this virus is only going to spread even fucking more.
Exactly.
More people will get sick, more people will die, and then the economy will crumble anyway because the whole population is fucking dead and nobody can go to work. So you can either do something about it now or you can do something about it later, but the coronavirus is here, and pretending like people don't matter is fucking over for that. If this virus don't do shit else, it needs to change the way America fucking works. It needs to change the way America treats its people. Every other so-called developed nation in this fucking world is doing shit to help the people. Freezing mortgages, freezing rents. Don't worry about such and such. Money going here. Let's set up distance learning for your kids over here. Like, everybody else can take care of their people. Even fucking Great Britain. Everybody else but us. It's like, why did we get the worst of the white people? Why? Why do we have, you have to live in a state where the government cares about people to not be completely shitting yourself right now. And even then, shit is still scary. So like, right. Fuck the Republicans. Get them the fuck out of office this November, y'all. If we don't do shit else, I know people are bored of the voting's so important and everybody is really disillusioned and all that shit. But do you see what these motherfuckers are doing? Did you hear about the governor of Florida talking about he not gonna close the beaches and all this and let all them motherfuckers from spring break come through, and then the spring breakers went home and spread it all across the fucking nation?
I've never heard of
It's only
Florida.
going to get worse.
I don't know what that
The
is.
governor of Florida said maybe just the people who live in areas where the virus is really high should be quarantined, but I'm not going to do that to everybody else. I'm not going to restrict their liberty. And not just Florida, the dumbass governor of Oklahoma posted a picture of himself and his children at some goddamn bar, a packed bar on top of that, talking about we not staying home. We love our Sooners state buddies or whatever. I don't even know what the fuck he said, but like, girl, this is stupid. People are dying, and it will be these people coughing in a week and a half wondering what the fuck happened. Just get the GOP the fuck out of here. And I'm just disgusted. I'm disgusted.
Well, I can piggyback off of that and start with round one for me. Donald Trump, again. I want to particularly address his reaction to that reporter that asked him what he might say to Americans who are scared right now. And his response was something to the effect of, I'd say that you're a terrible reporter. That's a nasty question. And basically tried to like peel into this guy for what was not even like an accusatory tone. It wasn't a disrespectful question. He didn't like pile on he literally said an obvious thing, which is many people are frightened. What can you do? Because again, I don't know if we touched on this specifically last week, but I know one of the things I talked about is how important leadership is in situations like this and how we have basically none of it. But one important thing that needs to come from leadership in this situation is like a reassurance and an attempt to sort of calm people, give them truthful, accurate, right information, but also help to calm people's nerves. Panic is not going to do anything but make things worse. That's why people are punching each other in the fucking throat at Kroger and Publix and wherever the fuck else, fighting for toilet paper. So like, yeah, you should address things for people. And not to mention the fact, bitch, that a lot of those people, you know where they are? In New York, the place that you're fucking from. Like, have you seen the numbers in this place alone? I myself am a very frightened bitch because we're basically in the coronavirus cesspool. And this is where the fuck you from. Are you going off on a reporter because he asked your stupid ass if you had anything to say to people that are scared? I'm so tired of you Garfield, the cat looking fucking Roz from Monsters Inc. looking laundry bag built ass bitch. You motherfucking football fish mouth ass bitch. I am so tired of you fucking bum. And I need to see you gone. I'm not putting no eggs in the basket of expectations for what comes in November. But my God, I'm so done. I'm so tired. Round 2.
Yes.
Linda Fairstein, or whatever the fuck your name is, going up out of here with some of that, whatever that bullshit is. Now you're trying to sue Ava DuVernay and Netflix and what's her name, Attica Locke. Is that the name of I think the co-writer for
oh yeah, I think
for
so.
When They See Us. Sis, we've been through this. Like it's we've had enough of our proof pudding. We don't need to do any more of this. Not to mention, like, now you're trying to sue them for defamation, talking about, oh, well, I wasn't even doing all of that, and I wasn't even in all of those spaces and doing whatever. And it's, just a crying shame. Like, just go back and read that long ass think piece that she wrote for like Wall Street Journal or something or whatever. Like, that was in itself like filled with so many tones of racism and ignorance and all this other stuff. Not to mention, he was like, well, I know that this didn't happen. I didn't say that because I was there at zippity doo dah in the morning and blah, 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 blah. And not only that, but it was given like, well, they may not have done that, but those boys may have done something else because it was a riot, da 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 da, and all this other fuck shit. And now you're trying to please talk about I want my money because they lied on me. Good luck. I would love to see how this thing turns out, man. What you need to do is sit your motherfucking ass at the house like the rest of us are doing and be quiet. Done. Annoyed. Sick. Go away. What else? Oh, y'all. These last 2 are not. Well, this one's kind of petty, and the last one's not really a read. And then I'm going to discuss an email. I am tick-tocked and took out. Taken. All of my. I don't have it anymore. I can't do 15 challenges. I don't. My God, dancing, drinking, push-ups, yodels, whatever. Like, I don't. Please, that Corona is the challenge. Like, you think
it's a stay alive challenge,
going to get some motherfucking milk and water and eggs without catching the pneumonias, that isn't a challenge in itself. You want me to do 50 push-ups too? Leave me alone.
Stop tagging me. I'm not doing it.
Also, you don't have to run your water the entire time, that the whole 20 seconds that you wash your hand. That's not like a read. It's just it's triggering for me as a Jamaican American and someone who was hollered at for running the water. Running the water when in points that you can just quick swish. You know what I'm saying? To maybe get some soap lathered, shut it off, do your 20 seconds, rinse, you're done. You don't have to run the whole thing. The earth is going through enough. And that's not me on my Greta. What's that girl named? Greta Gerwig?
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Or Gerwig, something like that.
Yeah. Namaste to you, sis, little sis. It's just, again, like, I just hear my mother and father yelling every time I see people washing. And anyway,
wait, Greta Gerwig is an actress.
So what's that girl's name that I'm thinking of?
I think Greta Thunberg.
Oh.
I think, right? The little girl who is the environmental activist?
Yes.
Yeah, Greta Thunberg.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Greta Gerwig is some acting girl.
Listen, I know Greta somewhere being very smug. Like, told y'all niggas. I told y'all niggas.
Oh, okay. So I got to read that someone wanted passed that I'm not going to pass, but I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
But basically, this girl who asked to be called Dr. Mommy O said that she had started Breath of a Wild with her son a few months ago. And I guess she felt sort of weird about games today or whatnot, being a bit older. So she felt like, her son is playing it. She's enjoying at least watching the experience as he plays it in front of her, which if you've even been on the fence of getting a Nintendo Switch, girl, just get it and get Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. It is legitimately one of the best games in a long time. And it's a great, beautiful, wonderfully realized world. So she and her son were enjoying that and sort of bonding together. Then she said that she, 2 weeks later, she had midterms, so because she's a professor, and so that kind of took her away. Now they're on what she calls Coronication, so she wants to jump back into Hyrule.
Oh, I love that.
So she wants her son to play Breath of the Wild some more, but her son don't want to play it no more. So now she's annoyed with him because she's like, the nigga don't want to play the damn game, but he got so far that she can't possibly pick it up and know what she's doing. So she was
no.
She wanted us to read the son as a sense of what's called, she's calling it a sense of parental reparations. And to that girl, I say, if you don't just play the damn game,
oh my God, girl,
just pick it up and play the damn game. If you got to start over, then start over. It's a fantastic game. Loads of people have played it 3-4 times. You included. Yes. Crystal's played it.
Right.
Multiple
I'm playing it on
times.
Master Mode right now, and it is very hard. I do not recommend it at all. Master Mode is some bullshit. But like, you can always create another profile on the Switch and start a new game of Breath of the Wild so you don't mess up his progress.
Yeah, that's true too.
And just play under your profile, and then it don't matter.
I read this.
I love that she's like, this little nigga, how dare you?
Right. And at the same time, I thought it was so sweet because she said she's pissed, but he's still a joy. So like, she's like having her cute time or whatever at home with them playing games and stuff, but she's pissed because she became a Breath of the Wild stan, but he's not into it anymore.
I mean, it is a very long game. You could play this game for years and not finish. So.
And different people, kids too, have different like things that he may be like a Fortnite kid, or he may just be into some other shit. Animal Crossing just came out, which is super adorable. So he may just not be into Legend of Zelda right now. So I think making a profile of your own and like starting from the beginning and kind of getting your feet wet into it at least is a good idea. That way, maybe he'll want to play Breath of the Wild again, and you can pick up where you left off, and you don't have to delete anything. And on top of that, I think you can make multiple saves on the same profile anyway. Like, I don't think you even have to make a new profile, but I would do.
Oh yeah, I think you can. I think you can create a new game and not delete the other one. I think.
Yeah,
I created a separate profile just in case, because I wasn't gonna fuck up my perfect 100% completion.
Right.
That will never go away. So yeah. But yes, ma'am, just play without him and get further than him.
Yes.
My brother and my nephew are playing Breath of the Wild too, and my brother is like super into it. So
yeah,
they're having like a grand old time, and my nephew is too. So they're just like so excited. They just got the Master Sword, so you really can't tell them.
Oh my goodness, Legend of Zelda is so good. It's really like that's the typical thing, especially for parents like around our age range and stuff, because most of us were gamers when we were kids because we were just born in that generation.
Right.
So a lot of us are like playing games with, I was gonna say our kids. Link watches me play. But yeah, like people who are totally into these games and remember the versions that came out in the 90s and whatever, like playing those games with their kids is super common. It's really a dope and fun way to bond with kids. There aren't many people. Well, I haven't heard from many people who are getting into games by way of their children. So I think it's really cool. I think it's really cute that he's playing this game and you're watching and enjoying. Because honestly, I could also just sit back and watch somebody else play Breath of the Wild and not play it myself, because it's just fun to watch. It's really good. So
it's a gorgeous game.
But I'm not reading your fucking. I don't. Did she even how old he was?
She wants to cuss out her baby.
I'm not going to read your child for not wanting to play the game anymore, because that's just what children do. You know how many games I haven't finished because I want to go and play something else, or I just didn't want to play it anymore for a while, girl. Come on.
All of them.
But yeah, that's it for me.
Oh, and don't forget to this lady, if you have a Switch and you pay for the online access, they have like a little app called Nintendo Entertainment System, and they have a bunch of super old games that old niggas.
Yeah.
And so I have been playing Super Mario 3, which is so fun. And the best of the Super Marios, don't fucking at me.
Oh, yeah.
And you can play stuff like that, like old nigga games online without your son, or you can show him how shitty the graphics used to be.
Not only do they
like
have
Dr. Mario.
They have the Nintendo one and they have a Super Nintendo one. So you can like play, and I think that they sort of Netflix it where they like rotate games in and out of there every now and then. So like a lot of games from way back when are on there available to play too. So that's true.
Yeah. It's like Sega Channel, how they used to switch up the games every month.
That's exactly. I had Sega Channel was everything. I don't even know how.
Yeah, my mama didn't pay for it for too long. Right. Not for too long. My mama did not pay for that for too long, but when she did, it was lit.
Let me tell you
Love
something.
that shit.
My mama didn't pay for nothing that ever had anything to do with games. And to this day, she don't understand why we just don't play the same one all the time. Why we need to have multiple ones.
You have a game. What's the problem?
My father, like, I used to sit there and I thought it was so lit that my dad was like, my dad would be like, because you can't just play one game. Like, they would legitimately, like, not argue, but they would be going back and forth on, like, on this conversation about needing more than one game. My dad would be like, you don't just read one book and just watch one show. Like, you play it, you finish it, you play something else. My mama was not trying to hear it. She was like, no, it doesn't make sense. Like, you don't just add new bits to basketball. You go out there, you play basketball. It's the same thing. Like, they would go back and forth. And I would just be like, child, meanwhile, I'm playing Crash Bandicoot for an extra hour.
Listen, your daddy was an advocate, okay?
Because them niggas grew up in like the country and on farms and shit like that. And they were lucky if they had running water many times. And keep in mind, like, they kind of had some money. Like, my parents weren't like well off, but like both of my grandparents on both sides had like businesses and things like that in Jamaica. And it's still, you know, it was Jamaican, you know, whenever. So my daddy was very much the type that was like, I want to give these little bastards every single thing that I didn't have or whatever. He used to spoil us rotten. That's why we ain't shit now.
Well, shout out to your daddy for knowing the importance of multiple video games in the house.
It matters.
And if you come across an Airbnb owner who's mad that they're giving refunds, tell them to calm their fucking tits. Have you seen these videos?
No.
People who own these Airbnb properties are pissed because Airbnb is refunding everybody who had reservations up until like April 14th or 15th. They're just refunding everybody regardless of the cancellation policy. Yeah. So these owners are pissed. But it's like, this is a global pandemic. And at some point, we're going to have to think about people. And if you have enough money to where you own properties and rent them out, then I'm just going to have to be more worried about the regular everyday people who sunk money into a trip that they can't get back than you. And if you the type of dumbass motherfucker who's renting 20 different properties that ain't actually yours and paying rent to a landlord and they don't know you renting down on Airbnb, then that sounds like your goddamn fault. And that sounds like your problem. Shouldn't have been renting out something that didn't belong to you. But these people, it's just like, girl, everybody is struggling.
Literally.
If they don't pay your money, then you can't pay the mortgage. Guess what? A bunch of people can't pay their mortgage. You're not alone. The system needs to change. We need global aid. This is not the time to be fussing at a company for helping out their users. It's just ridiculous.
I was going to say that sounds like first world problems.
Oh, I saw a video of a white man who got in front of the camera yelling at Airbnb for daring to give people their money back. I'm like, woo, society has a long way to go.
Like, so long. I don't know. I'm going to see it. You know what I mean? And God, many of us may not see shit. And if the corona take
me out, then all right.
Exactly.
I'm
that's
not going to be mad.
But it's just like, that's another added piece to like anxiety and fear when you see the fuckery coming from not only the administration, but just people who have the means to be helpful, like around, you know, just in general. And everybody, they're just so worried on like more money, even though more often than not, we're talking about people that will be more than fine.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
You could have somebody hop on a fucking chopper or jet and come and test you for corona and like at your house just because you coughed and it doesn't, you know what I mean? Meanwhile, motherfuckers trying to figure out if they even gonna be able to make rent or, you know, will they be able to keep their jobs or, you know, like laid off. Motherfuckers are literally in the middle of, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. And the people who's supposed to tell me don't know what the fuck is going on right now. And you worried about an Airbnb. Bitch.
Girl.
Come on.
Get the fuck out of my face. But people have real problems, Karen. People have real problems. People have sunk thousands of dollars into weddings that have been canceled. People done had vacations planned for months. Bitch, you ain't going nowhere. People have made so many different arrangements and everything is up in the fucking air. It's time for people to actually start caring about each other. And I know that makes y'all sick to your stomachs, but it is really time for us to give a fuck about each other. So please let us try.
Even the blacks.
Even the blacks. We have to do good things, even if black people also benefit. As a hard pill for you niggas to swallow, but you're going to have to because this is absurd.
Also, my bad for using a slur last week that rhymes with smet tax. Like I was
smet tax.
It rhymes with bet-lax.
Okay, don't. I think I know what you're talking about, but I did not know you said that.
I said it last week, imitating the racists of this country. I was trying to drive a point home and probably did too much. So my bad. I was trying to offend nobody. But yeah.
Woo.
I was just saying the people running this country are awful and taking any opportunity to blame mostly people of color for all of these issues. Even when y'all sat here on your fucking hands and tried to say there are still Trump supporters that are running with the hoax thing that would not even be a thing had you just taken it fucking seriously when it clearly needed to be taken fucking seriously. And now you're trying to blame Asian people,
everybody else,
and reinforce like further stereotypes for just regular motherfuckers that's living here and trying to get through life like everybody the fuck else. The same way that you do to the Latinx community, the same way that you do to the Muslim community, the same way that you do to the black community. And it's just annoying. And it's like, girl, it's almost impressive how you can just tie racism into every narrative that comes out of your goddamn. Like, did you see that fucking tweet from the White House about calling it a Chinese virus?
I have the White House blocked.
That's probably what I should have done.
As soon as President and Michelle Obama left office, I blocked every official White House related account. POTUS and FLOTUS and all that shit is blocked.
It was some tweet. Now, unless I was incredibly high and it was a mock account, and I don't think it was, but I just saw some tweet under White House talking about, but the West Nile virus and the Spanish flu and so why do you have a problem? Like, girl, first of all, history, because you can read a couple of books and find out why all of that is not a plausible argument. But furthermore, it's not even just that. It's not even just what you're calling it, but also how what you're calling it sort of like backs up the racist actions and the racist rhetoric that comes out from a lot of your side of the street. And it's just, I'm tired. So.
It's not, I would not be surprised if the virus was brought to China from somebody else. First of all, I'm not entirely certain that it started in China, but to act like you saying Chinese virus, like you're doing that on purpose. It has a name that doesn't have anything to do with terribleness and like xenophobia.
Coronavirus is not that hard to say. 90% of y'all bitches drink Corona and virus. That's it. So it does. COVID, super easy. Like, you want to back up this Chinese virus, in my opinion, as a way, again, to pass blame because you knew that you was over here playing a motherfucking game. And I also wouldn't be surprised if somebody dropped that shit off over there. Okay, Carrie Hilson, that's what you need to be digging up. Okay, Velma, Shaggy, Daphne, that's what you need to be looking at. Because I can buy that.
Let's not look at Trump and act like him saying Chinese virus is just innocent. He's saying Chinese virus because he's a terrible racist. And he loves to get his face fired up. It's not innocent, girl. Look at his history. He is fucking vile.
And they love it. Like, they love the audacity of this motherfucker being the president and also being like, fuck no, there's nothing wrong with calling it the Chinese virus. Fuck the Chinese. I've been saying it. And then they're all like, yeah, like outside of Walmart with their fucking rifles. I'm so tired. Like,
right.
I'm so
tired. He crossed out Corona on the paper and wrote Chinese instead. He said Chinese on purpose. Like, come on, bitch. He's doing it on purpose. I hope that his handling of this situation gets him the fuck out of office. I mean, there have been so many different reasons that we should have got rid of this motherfucker. But if this don't do it, then America can't be saved.
Honestly, I feel like time will tell. And where we're at right now, I feel like nothing's fucking up his chances. Like, I feel like at this point, because you got to think about so many places where we really needed to pull over and get out, and we just kept driving. So it's like, I really feel like we're not there yet, but we're also still in it for the long haul. So we'll see how many ways because again, he's been falling down a flight of stairs since the beginning of this whole shit. But I feel like he's been falling down a flight of stairs for his entire presidency. And yet he just gets up and is like, everything's all good. And the brown people still suck. You good? Great. And then he just keeps going. So I don't feel like anything is going to change. I feel like he's going to be fully supported by many conservatives again. And then once he is out of office, whenever that is, like I said, motherfucker's going to be acting like he was a clown the whole time and they don't know what happened. And I'm going to want to punch something.
I think enough real people, when I say real people, I mean what white conservatives consider real people, which is basically other white people. I think if enough everyday white people are affected by the corona, it might really make a difference. If enough regular ass white people in red states all of a sudden lose their jobs, can't pay their bills, family members are getting sick and can't get to the hospital and all that. If it affects enough of them, then maybe. But as long as it's like, oh, well, that's New York and everybody's sick in New York, that ain't my problem, then yeah. But honestly, the way that the government in these red states and cities is handling this shit, I wouldn't be surprised if the corona all of a sudden started exploding in those places too. So yeah. We will fucking see each other. I
mean, when you see their fucking 18-year-old kids on the beach talking about, well, if I get the corona, I just got the corona because I came here to fucking party. Stack up the Jaeger and let's beer pong this bitch out. Like, I don't.
All right.
Like, flat the fuck out.
Famous last words.
Couldn't miss a spring break, even when lives are concerned. You possibly infecting however many the fuck people. Like, we'll see what happens, but whatever.
We will. And I do feel sorry for the kids who are missing graduation and all that other stuff, prom and all that shit's been canceled. Girl. That is sad. But like, girl, you can sacrifice your spring break so that everybody else in your town don't get sick. That's all I'm saying.
When Florida said your kids could just go through the next grade again next year, I was like, oh, bitch, I know you lying. Like, what?
Ain't that some shit?
This is I've literally never seen no shit like this in my life. It is insane. This is literally like a chapter in a book. Like, this is so social studies. It's so God willing, the planet makes it. This is like one of those things that's going to be like, yep, and so many people died and the American president was a fool as usual.
Tell me why I recorded an end of time video the other day where I was like, just in case my phone is found after the end of civilization and a new people have emerged. This is a document of what happened before, the corona wiped out 80% of the world's population or whatever. Right. But, on a cheery note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that's it.
Yeah, I was going to try to say something positive, but Portia on Real Housewives of Atlanta went to therapy and it shows. What? I was trying to think of something positive that happened. And I have been watching Housewives of Atlanta this season and everybody is insufferable except Portia.
I just want
to say shout out to Portia because I see the growth and keep going, sis.
I actually have really enjoyed Portia in these episodes I've seen. I feel like I probably only missed a few episodes in the middle of the season so far because I watched the beginning and I watched like the last maybe 3 episodes. And yeah, the way that she handled that sit down with all of them together, that was so childish.
It was
like, yeah, you can definitely tell she's been going to therapy for real.
Yeah.
Because you know the Real Housewives.
Using her tools.
The Real Housewives will pull one therapist on set for an episode and be like, oh yeah, I'm in anger management or therapy or whatever, and they never speak to them again. Portia's doing the work. And
she is. So good job, Portia. Shout out to my sis, hey Kia and Jay. But yeah, good job, Portia, on bettering yourself, sis. It shows. All right. Now that is a nice, happy note to end the show on.
Portia Williams.
Who would have thought 2020 is a bitch?
Portia would be the one to save us from our misery in COVID.
Oh man, make sure you check us out at thisistheread.com. We're on social media at thisistheread. Our entire spring tour has been pushed to the fall because of Corona, no surprise. We will be in Atlanta on August 29th, Dallas on September 5th, Houston on September 6th, LA October 3rd, Chicago November 14th, and Detroit on November 21st. If you bought tickets and you can still make the new date, then just hold on to them because they will be honored. And if you can't, then go back to the point of purchase for a refund. And if you couldn't make the dates and now you can, then hey girl, we'll see you there. TheReadLive.com. And sorry that it got pushed back, but bitch, everything got pushed back.
Like all the things.
Nothing can be done, girl. Nothing can be done. It's a global pandemic. Sorry. And now that the sirens are firing back up.
Yeah.
I guess that's our cue. That's it.
That's the award show music that says get off the stage.
Woo.
So yeah, be safe out there, everyone. Take very good care of yourself. We again hacked this together last minute, basically. Well, not really last minute, because we definitely were given the equipment, but the governor said, don't you take your ass nowhere. And honestly, I looked at them numbers and said, you ain't had to worry about it. I'm super good. So that said, hopefully this audio works out. I know it's a bit different. I'm not even sure what it's going to sound like yet, but if it's not great, hopefully we can tune it up in the future, because the plan is to just keep doing this and try and get some laughs in where we can, because they're scared. Well, I ain't scared. Y'all niggas have been funny as shit. Bored, but funny. Like, very funny. I ain't seen so many people live on Instagram at once. Yes. I'm like, I can't understand TikTok, but it is very, very funny.
Yeah, I'm tired of the dances, but the skits are hilarious.
Yeah,
so,
the skits and funny shit are very, very funny.
Do whatever you have to do to take care of yourself and keep your spirits up as much as possible, because it's a hard time, and just be gentle with yourself. Yep. All right, y'all. We will see y'all next week.
Hopefully. Bye.
If the Lord say the same.